Hey guys, it's Chris, and I'm just here to do another lesson with you on trem picking, and we want to work on a little bit of speed now too. So with the particular lesson we're going to study here, I want to be able to move up and down the strings. I want to also be able to move my fingers forwards and backwards, and that's going to help us with our trem picking and picking up different patterns and different speeds. So when we're starting out with this particular lesson, before what I would show you is a simple little picking pattern. I'm going to leave my amp out of this for the moment, and what I would do is I would just walk up and we'd go. And we walk up this string, and we were walking up a particular pattern. The pattern we were using here was using various modes of a C major scale. We'll get more into scales and stuff like that down the road. I really just want to give you something that's particular and basic and going to accentuate what we're talking about here. So for now, continue to pay attention to what my fingers are doing, not what a mode is or what this or that is. Really all you need to do is just learn how this feels and plays. So with the trem picking part of it, what we've been doing is just moving up and down a string and moving up and down frets in particular patterns. So with this, I want to be able to combine it. Before, what we were doing is I was showing you how to do a shape in order to go up the guitar, and then I was showing you how to do various shapes to go up a string so that you can move up the neck. So now we want to be able to kind of combine that together. So for this particular lesson, all I want you to do is I want you to be able to start out very basic. I'm going to go out of camera for a second just to get my pedal. So from here, we're going to start with a clean setting, and we're just going to walk up the strings. So for this particular set, I just want you to get used to trem picking with one shape to get up all your 6 strings. And the way to do that is we're going to start right here on the 7th fret, and think of your fingers as being assigned to a fret. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to start with my index finger. Okay, and then this one, and this one will correspond to the fret that they fall in front of. So that's how we're going to move up the strings. Think of it like that. Each finger has its own fret, and that's how we'll move up. But there's a particular pattern in which you want to move up. You don't want all 4 fingers touching all 4 frets of all 6 strings. That doesn't do anything except make a chromatic sound like. And we're not looking to do that. We're looking to have a pattern that goes with what we're doing with our trem picking. So for this, we're going to just, I'm going to call it off as numbers. We're going to designate this, your middle, or your index finger is 1, your middle finger is 2, your ring finger is 3, and your pinky finger is 4. So when I count it off, I'll say 1, 2, 3, or 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on the low E string here to learn this shape for the trem picking. So on the low E, we're going to go 1, 2, 4, and then we'll go 1, 2, 4, then we'll go 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. So that gives us our notes to play, and again. And you'll notice out of all these strings, there's only one string that has 2 fingers being used, and that would be your B string here, and it's using our 2nd and 4th. So that's what I want you to be able to do with the trem picking. I want you to be able to go alternate your picking and go back and forth. So try it on just one string for now. Try it on this low E and go back and forth and go. Just so you can do that. And then as you can, pick up the speed so that you can pick up the speed of your trem picking using the shape that I'm showing you. So just sit there on that first string for now and go. But do it slower, go. want to pay attention to how it sounds, and you want to pay attention to this hand and this hand. They have to sync together so that it sounds nicely. You don't want you don't want it to be this messy, muted thing. You want it to sound nice and clean. You may want muting in there, but it has to be something you're doing. Something that's not happening on accident. So with this, I just want you to watch, practice your finger pattern here, and then once you get it down, add in your alternate picking piece. So, and that's the point, is to just go slow. Look at both hands. Make sure you're alternate picking. Make sure that you're using the right fingers on the frets. And then start to speed it up as you can. And then just get it faster and faster until you have it clean and fast. So then once you can do that nice and fast on one string, you'll want to go up to the next string. So you want to be able to do that with all the strings as I've showed you. 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. So practice that going up the strings. And also going backwards. That's the next part we're going into. And going backwards, you can start at the top here and just go backwards. So that's what you want to be able to do, and I was messing up a little bit there as you saw, but you want to be able to get consistent. You want to be able to go backwards and forwards. So try that on all 6 strings. So that's what you want to be able to do. Go forwards and backwards up the strings and forwards and backwards along the strings. So practice doing that, and then once you can get that nice and cleanly, you want to practice going forwards and backwards on command. That way you're not just following a particular pattern, your fingers are actually individually oriented to what they're doing. So, maybe on this first string here, you start forwards, the second string you start backwards, third string you go forward. So and pick that up as you can go, and start backwards here. And just go forwards and backwards. That way you alternate it. It's not just a whole big... So practice going forwards and backwards with these, as well as alternating the forwards and backwards when you change strings. Once you have this going nicely with your alternate picking, you have this one particular pattern on this particular part of the neck going for you. And then you can add some distortion to it and get that to sound neat. So this is going to get pretty loud, so I won't be able to talk over it, but you'll want to watch the patterns. So watch as I'm going and doing the patterns. I'll do them forwards and backwards, and then I'll start to add some speed to them. So that's what you want to be able to do at the end of this lesson, is you want to be able to get this cleanly on your clean channel. Start slow, easy, learn the pattern, learn how to alternate pick with the pattern. After you can do that, add distortion, start slow, and pick up your speed. You want it to be able to sound nice and clean, and you want to get some good riffs out of it, because as you see, that starts to sound pretty cool, and that's kind of what you're looking for when you're playing guitar. You want this cool, awesome sound, and the only way to get that is keep practicing and taking some real time and effort here to get it clean. If your notes are coming out really crappy and not distorted's probably the wrong word, but muddy and unrefined, then it starts to show because it doesn't make any sense. People will be listening and they won't know what they're listening to. So that's what I want you to grab from this lesson, and I know I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you here. I threw a mode at you, which was just the pattern I showed you, and on top of that I taught you how to go forwards and backwards, alternate it, and additionally with it you're trem picking the whole thing on the fly and speed picking. So that's what you want to be able to do. The lesson is trem picking, but you need to learn some other pieces of it in order for it to sit nicely with you. So go ahead and stop this lesson 1,000 million times, however many you need to. It's going to take a while to figure that part out, and sometimes as a player, when you've been playing as long as I have, you tend to underemphasize the importance or under-detail the things that are really important. So feel free to go ahead and leave me comments, a response video showing me what you think you're doing right or wrong, anything that you think is going to be helpful to you, the listener, the learner, to get more from my videos. So take this and really break it down. I mean, if you can't do the alternate picking and you're just trying to learn the patterns to start, do that. Once you have those patterns in, then you can add the alternate piece to it. And then once you have the alternate piece to it, then you can practice your forwards and backwards. And once you have that cleanly, all you're doing is changing your channel over and doing the same thing you've been doing. But the reason I'm asking you to do it on the clean channel is because that's where you're going to hear your note frustrations, your note discrepancies, the muddiness, the inconsistencies of anything that you're playing. That's where you're going to hear it, and that's the importance of playing on a clean channel. Because I can play anything I want on a dirty channel, and it's just going to sound good or bad. The common listener is going to know, but they're not going to be able to hear it as cleanly as people like you and I who are playing instruments. So it's important for you, the guitarist, to be providing the best experience for yourself and your listeners. So in order for you to do that, you need to be on a clean channel. You need to know that you're playing things cleanly. And then once you know you're doing that, that's when you add your dynamics to it. And distortion is a dynamic. It's a change of your sound, and it becomes your sound. So before you go distorting anything, make sure you know how to play the piece, and make sure you know how to do the alternate picking. So again, if you have any questions, let me know any way possible on the Facebook page, on the YouTube channel, comments, email, what have you. There's various mediums you can reach me through. And if you'd like to do a video response, please do that as well. If I can clarify anything for you, I'll certainly do that. So hang on and watch next week's lesson. We're going to keep things interesting and spiced up. We'll stay away from the theory for a little bit and give you some fun techniques to work with. And from there, we'll move on into future endeavors. So thanks for watching. Take care.